gentlemen?
Good. How are
Very
you
good,
doing,
thank you. Nice to
Tatiana?
hear you.
I am also doing great. I devoured The Man Who Fell to Earth, totally fascinated by the premise. And of course, we know that Walter Tevis's novel is a cornerstone of sci fi literature, but also the Nicholas Roeg film with David Bowie is a cult classic as well.
Mhm.
What was your engagement with the story in either medium prior to this series? Bill, if you'd like to start.
Yeah, I was around and a young man when the film first came out. It was a big deal in the so-called United Kingdom, and I saw it maybe twice, maybe more, and I've seen it since over the years. I was a big fan of Nicholas Roeg and a big fan of David Bowie, so it was a must-see movie, and it was influential at the time, and it was like nothing else. And I loved the thing I love about certain forms of sci-fi. I love the juxtaposition between very mundane, regular human paraphernalia or situations with exotic visits from things from outer space. I love that juxtaposition. I love the motel and then you have this. I love his response to television. I love his response to alcohol. I love that kind of that kind of combination. So yeah, I saw the film and I was a big fan.
Wonderful. Jimmy, did you have any experience with the story?
Yeah, well, I had seen the film thanks to a film school buddy of mine in the late '90s, and but I hadn't revisited it since, and I don't think my mind really attached to it's. It's a very like subtly told sci-fi story, and it doesn't really have the typical three-act movie structure of completion and satisfaction in really any way. And so, for some reason, it didn't stick with me. And so when this script came around and I happily revisited, I was, and I'd lived a lot more life and I'd been human for much longer at this point. And when you're 25, you don't know how difficult life
Mm,
is. And when you're 45 and you see this movie, you're like, oh my God, of course.
mm.
Um, and I was stunned by the beauty, because I'm a huge David Bowie fan as well. Starman is my go-to karaoke jam.
I love
Uh,
that.
and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Um, but yeah, I was just stunned by the kind of naked, not literally, beauty of Bowie and his performance. And he does feel like a child. Um, he feels like David David Bowie. And I didn't know the book until the job came along, and then I started reading it when I got to London, and I was finished about um, halfway through our filming. And yeah, it's like, I'd seen Les Mis 5 times, and then I read the book, and I was like, oh, oh my God! And then you get the little nuggets of backstory, and it made the film so much more complete. But I think what Alex and Jenny have done is they've made a pure sequel.
Mhm.
We are 45 years literally, um, and narratively after this first kind of uh, film, and they've really pushed it along. They've taken a lot of amazing things, but they've also kind of really they dived way deeper into the humanity and the struggles of being human and the joys of being human. And it's where it's kind of, you're kind of outside watching the
Mhm.
original film. In this show, you're in there and you're living as all these different characters. They're very, very fleshed out in a way that Rogue's movie wasn't, or I don't think he even intended it to be.
Absolutely. And in that sequel, Bill, you're almost stepping into David Bowie's shoes in a sense, playing Thomas Newton. How much of responsibility do you feel to honor his performance, his legacy, while also making it your own?
Well, I felt that I did feel a deal of responsibility because, as I say, I was a big fan of David Bowie, and I was a big fan of David Bowie in the movie, and I was acquainted with it. but I wasn't a friend of his, but I was acquainted with him, and our paths crossed on a couple of occasions. So yeah, I did, but and simply to do it as best as I could, and to kind of carry the job on. I can't. I mean, it's like. I'm not a continuation of David Bowie, but it's just that. But it's. I was pleased to be thought of in terms of playing Thomas Jerome Newton, and to follow in his footsteps, and to try and imagine what 45 years of drinking gin and smoking too much had done to an alien trapped on Earth, trying to avoid the CIA. Which is that's enough to be going on with.
It
I'll
certainly is.
I can't say this enough, but when Alex and Jenny were very, very serious about choosing Thomas Newton, obviously, and when it was announced, I think Alex called me. He said, "Bill Nighy might do it. He's thinking about it." And when he agreed, there was just this gasp of relief from the entire cast and producers and everything. We got the real Thomas Newton. It was so exciting.
I love that.
Yeah.
You have done an amazing job, but you, of course, as well, are great as Spencer Clay,
Thank you.
Jimmy. And when we first meet him, well, not first, but he's very anal about Lyme, but also trying to connect, just like the audience,
Yes.
the original story to the sequel. Can you tell us about his motives and how they intersect with Faraday?
Well, sure. I mean, slight spoiler alerts. Uh, uh, Spencer Clay has a history of utter abandonment. He's never known real love in his life, and he's gone about fortifying himself through power and controlling others. And he's initially from a different country, and his mother was a straight up immigrant, and uh, he's kind of it's like a frat boy. You get hazed. I mean, I'm not one, or wasn't one. You get hazed, you get beaten, and that just kind of breeds in you contempt to do it to others. And he's such a sad man. He's lived out his life is that contempt, and he kind of goes about breaking others the way he feels like his mother has been broken, and he fixates on Faraday as the ultimate illegal alien that he's been chosen almost religiously to stop this the ultimate illegal alien. And so everything is invested: his own self-worth, his career, which is most of his self-worth. So he has every single sight is set on Faraday for him. It's the only thing. It's his mission. It becomes his mission in life, and so he takes it to the extreme, and he does some desperate things.
Yeah. Everyone is on very desperate missions in the
Yeah.
series. Bill, I know you've worked previously with Chiwetel and Naomi. So what was it like to get to have that kind of reunion on set?
It was very, very, very nice. I'm on very good terms with both of them, and Chiwetel's a friend of mine, and Naomi. I gave my heart to Naomi in Pirates of the Caribbean 2 or 3. And Chiwetel and I did a very long-running theatre play in London some years ago, and we've stayed friends. And it was he who originally approached me about playing the part, and I knew it had to be serious if he was involved. And I was very, very, and we had fun. It had been a while since we worked together, and it was great to be back. So it was very satisfying.
Yeah. Well, it's very satisfying to watch on screen as well. Thank you both so much. I can't wait for everyone to watch with me and hopefully save our planet before the aliens have to do it for us.
Let's do that.
Thanks, Tanya.
Have a great day.